Hey everyone, Jake here. This is my 1,000 round review of the Wilson RF01 Pro. Today I will go over the power, spin, control, fatigue, and price of this racket. My goal is to help other people find a racket that best suits them. I myself went through a phase of trying dozens and dozens of rackets and hurting my arm in the process, so I just want to try to help people avoid that as well. The structure I follow to test these rackets is hitting at least 1,000 tennis balls, 150 forehand cross court, 150 backhand cross court, 150 down the line forehand, and 150 down the line backhand, 50 volleys forehand, 50 volleys backhand, 50 serves deuce side, 50 serves ad side, 50 slices forehand, 50 slices backhand, 50 lobs forehand, and 50 lobs backhand. Why I do this is for two reasons. One, I need more coffee.
Okay.
Why I do this is for two reasons. One, to test the fatigue level of the tennis racket. How does my arm feel after hitting 1,000 tennis balls? And number two, to get over the hump of using a racket I'm not used to. All right, well, let's go over the specs of this Wilson RF01 Pro. The unstrung weight is 11.3 ounces, so a little bit of a heavier racket. It is 9 points head light, so there's more weight in the throat and the handle of the racket, a little less weight up top here. The head size is 98 square inches. The string pattern is 16 by 19, and the recommended tension is 50 to 60 pounds. Now, this is a demo racket, so the tension is currently strung at 60 pounds, which is a lot higher than what I usually play with. The strings in this demo are synthetic gut, and it has the OG leather grip. The paint job is like a faded black, like a gradient. I've done a lot of Photoshop, so it just looks like someone took a gradient and did that. Number one, power. The power for this racket is really good. Not out of the ballpark crazy, but the extra weight in the racket does help generate a little bit more power. I noticed that on my ground strokes with my forehand and my backhand. So yeah, power was pretty good. I noticed this racket favors flatter shots, especially on the ground strokes and the serves. But yeah, power on the serves and the ground strokes felt really, really good. Number two, spin. Now, spin was okay on this racket. Not my favorite thing to try to do. I noticed when I tried to do more top spin, it was a little tougher. I would shank the ball quite a bit. That's due to the smaller head size. So you can get a little bit of spin, but not a whole lot. It felt tough for me to get spin off of this racket. With my serves, again, I could get a little bit of spin and slice on the ball, but it worked really, really well for flathead serves.
Let's try a couple of my regular serve where there's a little bit of slice on it, a little bit of spin. A little long. Long again. There it is. Okay, definitely possible, but the flathead serves feel better. Yep, definitely flathead. Oh, okay. Okay. Yep.
Number three, control. Now, control on this racket was the best by far. The control is really, really good on this racket.
Whoa. Okay. That was like my 10th shot of the day. I'm not even awake yet. Clean.
I could definitely tell that in the ground strokes as a whole. The ball was going right where I wanted it.
Yes. Woo! There's that cone.
The extra weight in the racket and the small head size makes it really, really stable. So there's a nice pop or really good feel to the racket when you're doing volleys.
Volleys feel really good. I think I got the hang of it. Just gotta hit in that sweet spot, give it a little punch. There it is.
Number 4, fatigue. Now, the wear and tear on my arm after this hitting session was pretty rough. I felt a pull in my bicep within the first 5 minutes of hitting with this racket.
So if you don't hit it spot on, there's definitely a rattle through it. Aye! All right, pulled my arm a little bit.
This build as a whole is really tough on your arm. It's a stiffer frame, it has a 98 square inch head, and it has more weight in total. So every swing you take with this racket, you better hit it in the sweet spot. Otherwise, you're gonna hit it just off to the sides or on the top. And I could feel a little bit of a rattle actually go through the racket into my arm, especially on the slices. Like, the slices were working really, really well, but I could feel it taking a toll on my forearm especially.
This is new for slices. It's going where I want them to go, but the rattle in my forearm doesn't feel good at all. It's not comfy at all. But the performance of it is fantastic. Like, look at that. Clean, right where I want it, but my forearm's not liking it.
It weighs more, it doesn't have much forgiveness, and when I say forgiveness, it's the sweet spot I'm talking about. So if you hit the ball even just slightly on one end or the other, it's gonna rattle the racket through your arm, and it doesn't feel good at all. While if you have a racket with a bigger head size, that sweet spot is bigger, and it catches the ball and doesn't rattle you as much. So basically, you have to hit it in the sweet spot every single time if you're gonna play with this racket. This also has a leather grip, and I'll see if I can show you guys in a close-up, but this leather grip is not as broken in as the leather grip I have on my Babolat Pure Strike. They also look like slightly different leathers. I don't know what the difference is between the two, but I do know this Wilson RF Pro though did give me a blister right in the palm of my hand here just from one hitting session. And I hit with these leather grips all the time and I don't get blisters anymore. So my reasoning is this leather grip is not broken in all the way yet. The leather grip does feel nice, but if you're getting this fresh out of the box and you just go and hit with it, you're gonna tear up your hands. And believe me, I went through the same experience with the Babolat Pure Strike. And a little hack I did to break in the leather grip was actually taking a overgrip and wearing that for a couple of months. Preferably the ones that have like little holes in them because it allows the sweat to kind of go through and break in that leather grip underneath. All right, number 5, price. This Wilson RF Pro is $300. That's a lot for a single racket, but this is meant for pro players. It's in the name, not for someone like me. I'm not a pro, not even close. Again, if you're someone that's playing at a way, way higher level than I am, you will easily spend $300 on a racket because this is your tool, this is your weapon. You want something that will perform the way you want it to perform. Now, for a rec player like me, I'm looking for something that doesn't break the bank and doesn't destroy my arm. This doesn't do either of those two. Instead, it does the opposite. It destroys my arm and my wallet. In conclusion, I would suggest this racket to advanced players because it has good power, ton of control, really good stability. Your shots will be right where you want them. You just have to be at that level where majority of the time you're hitting it in that sweet spot. This thing is sweet. It performs really, really well, but not the racket for me. I can't use this thing. All right, well, that's my 1,000 round review of the Wilson RF01 Pro. Let me know in the comments what racket you want me to review next, and I'll catch you next time.
You know what really grinds my gears? When you put your heart and soul into hitting over 100 tennis balls and it turns out you weren't recording. It's like, no, sorry. Footage doesn't exist. Wish I didn't exist. All of them are long. Maybe it's just because I'm short. Okay. Let's just get higher because I'm short. Okay. Confirmed. I am short. I know how to fix the problem. I'll just grow another 6 inches.